This is our 5th annual Her Justice Airtime to End Domestic Violence. Look at this amazing turnout. I want to give a big thanks to our host sponsors, Brookfield and 245 Park Avenue. What a phenomenal venue for this event. And where would we be without Sue Solano and Tom Walsh, the managers of the buildings? Thanks so much for everything you did to help make this possible. I want to recognize some of the generous financial sponsors who also helped make tonight steps you're taking tonight, by thinking about other steps you can take. If you're an employer, can you take the step to create a company policy that supports staff who are being victimized at home to make sure they stay safe and employed? Do you coach your kids' sporting events? Can you take the step to talk to young people about healthy relationships? I know you have friends, because a lot of them are here tonight. Can you take the step by saying something if a friend talks or acts in a way that's disrespectful to their partner? Are you finally getting out your fall and winter clothes because it's freezing finally in late October? Can you take the step to donate some gently used clothes to a domestic violence shelter? There are steps we can all take each and every day to make sure we don't have to wait for another Ray Rice video to put an end to domestic violence. We at Hurt Justice see this issue in the lives of our clients who need help to keep custody of their kids, to gain immigration status, or to obtain orders of protection to stay safe. The services we provide in partnership with many of you make sure our clients do not become destitute and make sure they are seen. As one client said recently about her attorneys, they gave me the financial means to start a new life, but the money isn't the most important thing. It's the freedom they have given me to start a new life with self-respect and dignity. Your support helps to make sure that over 7,000 women and children each year are seen as the determined survivors they are. So as you're climbing these stairs tonight, as we are climbing these stairs tonight, realize each one is taking us a step closer to living in a society free of domestic violence. You are doing that. You can keep doing that. And I say you deserve a party when you're finished doing that. And when you get to the party, do me a favor and take a minute to thank the Hurt Justice staff and volunteers who make sure that all of this happens. And now I'd like to ask for a drum roll. Together, everyone here tonight, and the more than 40,000 who have contributed to your climb, as of right now, have raised $680,000.